Howdy folks, and welcome back to Armoured Warfare with the mighty Jingles. Bit of a different video for you today. Yes, it's Armoured Warfare. And I do realise that given the amount of coverage that I've given to Armoured Warfare over the course of the last couple of months, that it could be easy to form the opinion that I think Armoured Warfare is perfect, it could not be improved in any way, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's not quite the case. I do love the game. I think it is great. I think it's got bags and bags of potential, but I definitely don't think it's perfect. And there are things about this game that wind me up. Things about the game that make me want to fly out to California, go around to Obsidian's offices and batter them over the head and shoulders with a programming manual while screaming, "Can't you do better than this?" But I'm not going to do that, obviously, because flying to California is very expensive. Instead, I'm going to put a video up about it. Now, the things that wind me up in Armoured Warfare are not necessarily going to be the same things that wind you up in Armoured Warfare. I get wound up by the kind of things that are quite common, regardless of what kind of multiplayer game you're playing. Here I am in my VBL. I'm chasing my first win of the day. This is my third attempt. In the previous two attempts, I'd scored over 11,000 damage, and they were both defeats. So here I am, going for my daily double. And now I'm completely stuck. I am stuck on the gun barrel of a knocked out tank that's part of the scenery. This was my first win of the day in the VBL, and I spent the rest of the battle right there. Yeah. Now, aside from fixing the obvious and really annoying bugs in the scenery, like this, which Obsidian have done, this match was actually recorded prior to the latest patch, there's nothing Obsidian can do to actually improve this situation, because this is just part and parcel of online gaming. You're always going to have those days where your first attempts to chase the daily double in any given machine are absolutely fantastic matches. You play your heart out and your team still manages to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And then, of course, when you do finally get your first win of the day, this happens. It's not Obsidian's fault. It's all just part and parcel of the romantic adventure that we call playing multiplayer games on the internet. So Obsidian get away with this one. They have actually addressed the issue of tanks getting stuck on the gun barrels of knocked out tanks. So the next time I suck out on my first win of the day, it's going to be my fault, and my fault alone. Or is it? This is the Typhoon 2 Tier 6 Premium Tank Destroyer. It has absolutely no armour whatsoever, but it's got a dirty, great big, very good gun, and it's very fast. Those of you who play World of Tanks, do you remember on the South Coast map, just to the south of the northern spawn point, there was a village, and in that village, just down the hill from the northern spawn, there was a hole in the ground that a tank could very easily fall into, and not very easily get out of. We used to call it the idiot trap. Armoured Warfare's got one too. I don't actually know if this particular, well, I don't really want to call it a bug. I suppose it's more of a landscape feature than a bug, but I don't actually know whether or not it still exists on this particular PvE map. And the reason I don't know whether or not it still exists is because wild horses couldn't drag me down to this end of the map again after what happened in this match. And apparently it's quite a notorious hole, or at least it was to everybody apart from me, because I didn't realise it was there, and I just had to go and find it the hard way, didn't I? At least one other person on my team was aware of its existence, and had a bloody good laugh at my expense. You ready? Here it comes. Typhoon 2 at full speed. Right turn, Clyde. And there it is. And that's pretty much where I spent the rest of this match. Now, you could argue, and you'd be right, that it's my own stupid fault for driving into this hole in the first place. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself the question, how exactly does having something like this on the map advance the gameplay? It doesn't. Its sole purpose is to provide a brief moment of comedy for people who watch idiots like me driving into this hole on YouTube. That's it. That's that match over and done with. I spent the rest of the entire match fruitlessly trying to get out of this hole. much to the amusement of at least one other person on the team who was aware of this hole's existence and thought it was very, very amusing that I'd managed to run face first into it. But the thing is, landscape features like this, they don't really do an awful lot to enhance the gameplay now, do they, Obsidian? Okay, you could argue that, well, you can go hull down in this location. Yes, you can. You can go turret down in this location. That's kind of the problem. The hole's big enough to lose a tank in. Which, funnily enough, is exactly what's happening. The one thing that this proves beyond any shadow of a doubt is that whoever is responsible for designing the Operation Banshee map here in Armoured Warfare has a very, very nasty sense of humour. I'll bet he's great fun at parties. Okay, well, it was annoying, but at least it was funny. How about something that is even more irritating and isn't even slightly funny? This is the MBT-70 Mercenary Edition. It's a premium Tier 6 main battle tank armed with a 152mm gun that can fire armour piercing, high explosive anti-tank and anti-tank guided missiles. It's a very, very nice premium Tier 6 main battle tank. We're on the Operation Harbinger map, and the Operation Harbinger map is probably the worst example, or should that be the best example, of the one thing in Armoured Warfare that drives me to distraction above and beyond anything else, and it's the way the AI artillery works in these co-op battles. Here it comes. I'm the first tank on my team to get spotted, and so I should be. I'm in a top tier main battle tank. It's my job to go forward and engage the enemy and take the hits so the rest of my team don't have to. Unfortunately, because I'm the first vehicle to get spotted, my dance card is well and truly filled in. There are something like anything up to 3 AI artillery at the far end of this valley, and they are going to make it their mission to shoot nobody but me for the rest of this game, regardless of whether they can actually hit me or not. Here it comes again. I've done reasonably well. I've managed to avoid, because the MBT-70 is fairly mobile for such a big tank, but I've already lost a third of my health. And here it comes again. They just will not quit. So I've had enough of this. Finding some cover. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I didn't realise that building was destructible. And here it comes. And let's see what's been damaged. Well, it's probably easier to take note of what hasn't been damaged at this stage. But yeah, screw this. I'm getting out of here. They can't hit me, but they are still shooting. And they're not shooting anybody else on my team. I'm no longer detected. But there are plenty of other targets, other tanks on my team that are being engaged by enemy tanks and are lit up on the map. But artillery will not shoot them. They just keep going for me. They keep waiting. Ignoring other targets. They could be doing damage to other tanks, but they won't do it until I'm dead. And here it comes again. I lost track. I estimated something like 32 shots fired at me by artillery, up until the point where I just had enough. I try to pop out again, and the second I do, there it is. And my tracks are down, and my gun is down, and practically, look at the, I have 305 health left. Oh, come on, Jingles, you don't know that they're not shooting at anybody else. Oh, yes, I do. Look at that chieftain. Look at him. They're clearly targeting this area because they've been hitting me. And that's practically a full health chieftain main battle tank that just quite casually drove right up the middle of the road, right in front of the spot that artillery has been bombarding mercilessly in an attempt to kill me for the last minute. And they didn't take a single shot at him. So I'm sitting here. I'm pretty pissed off at this point. I'm thinking, well, give them time to get bored and start shooting at other tanks on my team. So I wait, and I wait, and I wait some more. How long do you have to wait before the AI artillery will start shooting at something else? I haven't been spotted. 305 health. Let's go. Still haven't been spotted. Still haven't been spotted. Oh, oh, no, that's not a very good shot. I still haven't been spotted though, so this is good. Oh, I've been spotted. Guess what? Here it comes. I've heard the argument from the armoured warfare apologists that it's actually quite realistic behaviour for artillery to focus one target down. Well, no, it isn't. It is if they can kill that target, but when that target spends 3 minutes hiding behind a building, afraid of sticking his nose out, while there are plenty of other targets that artillery could be killing in the meantime, but they don't because they're waiting for that first target to appear again, that's not realistic. That's sloppy programming. Right now I'm in an artillery shadow. They can't actually hit me with indirect fire from here, but they're still shooting at me, only the shots are hitting the bridge in front of me. It's not until I actually die when they start shooting at another target. There, I got finished off by an M60, and a fraction of a second later, an artillery shell landed on top of me. Which is incredibly bad news for this Mark V chieftain, because now I am dead, artillery has to start shooting at somebody else. And now they've killed him, that's incredibly bad news for this Mark V chieftain. There's one, there's another one, there's another one. No, 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 don't shoot at the leopard. Don't shoot at a target that doesn't actually have any armour that you could be doing full damage to. No, we're going to keep shooting at the same target over and over and over until that target's dead or we run out of ammunition. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? Don't worry, I'm fake laughing. The tears are real though. This isn't an issue in every co-op battle that you play in Armoured Warfare. It's only really an issue when there's multiple artillery on the enemy team, and particularly when you don't have any artillery on your own team. Operation Starry Night, for example, is an absolute nightmare if you don't have an artillery player with you, or if the artillery player who's with you just sucks and gets counter-batteried right at the start of the match. Operation Hydra is another map where I think they've got the balance about right, because while the AI of the artillery is just as retarded as it is here on Operation Harbinger, it only lasts for the first wave of the attack. Once that's dealt with, one main battle tank on your team is going to have a really, really bad time, but once the first wave has been dealt with, you overrun the artillery position and it's plain sailing from there on in. But you can't do that on Operation Harbinger here, because the artillery is positioned right at the opposite end of the map, and you have to deal with every other tank on the enemy team before you can get to them. I'll show you what I've resorted to doing on Operation Harbinger. This particular match on Operation Harbinger was a bit of a challenge, for a number of reasons. First, we didn't have any artillery on our team. I actually like playing artillery here on Operation Harbinger. It's a bit of a challenge. And it's a bit of a break for all the other, actual tanks on your team, because if you have artillery on the player team, the AI artillery will not fire at anybody. They will not fire their guns until the player artillery fires once, gives his position away, and then it's hunting season. So all the actual tanks on your team have a free ride on this map, providing you have player artillery still alive. And that's why I kind of like playing Operation Harbinger as artillery, because it's a bit of a challenge when you've got 3 auto-loading artillery firing at you at the same time the second you pull the trigger on your gun. So I make it my mission to counter-battery them. Here, however, we had a very aggressive Typhoon 2 tank destroyer who was the first one spotted, and the Typhoon 2 tank destroyer has no armour. Now he's dead, nobody wants to push forward because of the artillery. So somebody's going to have to do something really, really stupid, and I'm just the gnome for the job. First, however, I'm going to take care of some of the secondary objectives, this VIP recruiter convoy, and then I'm going to put my man pants on. And if you thought that was suicidal, wait until you see me do it in an M1 Abrams. We were actually quite lucky in this match, and when I say lucky I do of course mean it in the broadest possible sense of the word, because we were fortunate enough, fortunate for us and not for him, to have a player artillery on the team, and it's only now that he's dead after being focused down by the AI artillery that they have no choice but to start shooting at the actual tanks. And so, on 35 health, I have to go and do something very stupid. Only this time, There's an M1A2 Tier 9 main battle tank up there with him. Obsidian. Are you guys sadists or something? Oh, I don't like this anymore. I want to hide. I want my mum. In all seriousness, I like co-op battles in Armoured Warfare, and I like that they are significantly tougher than they used to be, thanks to some clever tweaking. I mean, the AI is still as dumb as a box of rocks, but the tweaking of the spawns and the timing and so on has made things considerably more of a challenge than they used to be. It used to be like shooting fish in a barrel, and anybody could just blunder their way through. And you still can on easy difficulty, but that's what easy difficulty is for. And you certainly can to a degree on medium difficulty. On hard difficulty, it's now actually something of a challenge to play the majority of the co-op battles. Some of them are still very easily, but some of them are substantially tougher than others. The problem with Operation Harbinger, and to a lesser degree Operation Hydra, trying to think of another example, Operation Starry Night, they're not difficult because of the map features, they're not difficult because of the placement of the AI spawns, they're not difficult because of the timing of the AI spawns, they're only difficult because there's a higher than average number of AI artillery on these maps. And the AI artillery are basically a bunch of bullies. That's as far as their coding goes. They pick one target. Player artillery, if it's available, and if player artillery isn't available to be shot at, or if player artillery can't counter-battery them, this happens.
Clear them out. Consider them high-priority targets. Do not let them escape.
Incoming Artie! Incoming! Driver, move! Ammo up! Incoming! Driver, move! Incoming Artie! Incoming! Driver, move! Multiple systems damaged! Incoming! 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 Driver, move! One damaged! Incoming! Driver, move! That's it! Incoming! Driver, move! Incoming! 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 Look out my sight! Incoming! Incoming! Incoming Artie! Incoming Artie! Multiple systems down! Incoming Artie! Multiple systems down! Incoming! Driver, move! We're trapped! Incoming! Incoming! Track prepared. Gun clear. Track done. Moving out. Incoming!
Obsidian, I love your game, I really do. I think it's great. But sometimes